Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug. So we're carrying on with our Ogryn series, and this time we've got something a little bit more defensible, and I would say a little bit more user-friendly. If you're just coming to the Ogryn, I think this is a pretty good build to start off in to really understand the basics. But also, it works high-end. So let's jump in, shall we? Of course, we're still using the Carsoles pickaxe, my favourite. With the perks, we're going with Unyielding and Unarmored because that's how they rolled. Preferably, you'd want Flak and Maniac or Flak and Carapace. So the perks of this are not perfect. I'm still trying to roll a god roll of the pickaxe. But the blessings are pretty much exactly how you want them. I highly suggest using Thrust and Slaughterer, but if you're just starting out with this build, there is a way to get a little bit more defense and a little bit more wiggle room. And that is by going with Confident Strike and Slaughterer. You do lose 60% damage, but you gain the ability to farm toughness back. Again, you'd want Flak and Maniac, or Flak and Carapace, or Maniac and Carapace. Any combination of those, pretty damn good. Confident Strike is a very useful ability if you're starting out. It does tail off the higher you go, where as you get into the higher difficulties, you're needing the more damage to hit those breakpoints to be able to kill those heavier enemies. But starting out, I would say Confident Strike is a pretty decent way to learn, because we all start somewhere. No shame in that. So there's the Carsoles. I will again show you the few tricks you can do with it, but we'll go through the weapons and curios first. Then we've got the Lorenzo Mark V Kickback. Again, one of my favourite weapons to use with Infested and Flak on it. Perfect perks would be Flak and Maniac to help deal with those specials. This thing is absolutely insane and basically doesn't have any range drop-off. So if you need to, you see something coming towards you, just aim in its general direction, and it'll pretty much die in 1 to 2 shots. And you can kill things that are all grouped up together as the pellets blow through. At this point in time, the kickback does not have any range drop off. You can shoot anything that you can see. Doesn't matter the distance. And that's why I like it. So, build wise, Flak and Maniac, probably the best ways to go. Blessings, there are a few ways to build it. You can go for Blaze Away and Surgical, like I have here. Or you can go full bore and Terrifying Barrage for some suppression and damage. Or you can go full bore and surgical for a bit more oomph. Again, if you're not a fan of the kickback, you can go for a Ripper with Fire Frenzy and Inspiring Barrage. Perks are usually always going to be Flak and Maniac. Can Opener is also a very good way to go, but just remember to get those stacks, you do have to use the alternative fire button, which is a jab. And now that Ogryn is suffering from brittleness, which means he takes a lot more damage from everyone. It's a very good close combat weapon. I just find the damage a little bit lacking. But if the Ripper Gun's not your thing, you can also try out the Grenade Gauntlet. Flak and Maniac with Glory Hunter and Pinpointing Target. Pinpointing Target is the only must-have on this gun. Everything else, it's up to you. So, Pinpointing Target works the same way as Surgical. You brace the gun, you can see it stacking up down the bottom there. And once it hits 5, it's going to do a lot of damage to anything it initially hits, which basically turns it into the big friendly rock that explodes. Very good weapon, and a very good alternative to the kickback. And also, the other alternative I would say is the Rumbler. So with this, I would very much suggest using Adhesive Charge and Shattering Impact. The Adhesive Charge basically turns this into a fireable crack grenade. And Shattering Impact makes the target take 5% brittleness on direct hit. 20% brittleness, sorry. Very simple to use. Unlike the kickback, It arcs, so you don't just shoot straight at them. You aim up slightly. And as you can see, it sticks to Ogryns and monstrosities. So you can quite happily aim this into an Ogryn's face and watch it explode. Very good for disrupting bulwarks. It's got some pretty decent damage on it. So they are your options for ranged. Pretty much choose whatever you want. I would say the heavy stubber is not a good option for a heavy melee build Ogryn. Just because of the amount of time it takes to brace, fire and reload, you're going to want to be getting stuck in with your melee weapon. And if there's a horde, sitting back and shooting at it isn't the best thing to do. Unless you're playing a gunlugger, which this isn't. So, we should move on to the curios. As you can see, I'm running 3 max health. And all 3 of them have increased toughness regeneration speed, damage resistance gunners, and increased max health. Now you can change these slightly and take off the max health at the bottom for sniper damage resist. Or you can just go for max health, which helps you against everything. Now the alternative to this is you can go for all toughness curios, which I'm not a massive fan of. I prefer max health, but going pure toughness is another way to go. So as you can see, it's pretty much the exact same as the health, just changed over from health to toughness. So 16% toughness, damage resistance gunners, toughness regeneration speed, and more toughness. I would use one or the other, probably wouldn't mix and match. So you either go full health or you go full toughness. It's completely up to you. Do not go for an extra wound. That is a complete pitfall trap for the Ogryn. You don't need it. Toughness or health. That's all you need to think about. The regeneration speed for the toughness on these curios is very useful. So even if you're using health ones, I would suggest having that on there. So on all 3 of them, you would have 90% toughness regeneration speed, which is very high. So let's jump into the talents. As you can see, it starts off pretty normally up here with Furious into the best defense. Into Smash and replenish 20% toughness after hitting a single enemy with a heavy melee attack. Now, while we're talking about this, I'm going to tell you about the Car Solus. If you've seen my last 3 builds, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, this is it. So the Car Solus is the light pick that is known for its big, wide, horde-killing sweeps. You can control a horde very, very easily with this weapon. All you have to do is keep circling around, keep moving so that you can't be hit back very well. Like I said in the last video, kind of imagine the horde is in a circle in front of you, and you're just strafing around that circle, just to keep it safer for yourself, and you're not going to be taking retaliative hits from the horde or anything that's behind you. But I hear you say, what about armor? Well, when it comes to armor, you have 2 options. So we'll start off with the block push overhead. So right click to block, then hold right click and left click to jab, and then left click only to overhead. Again, it's not doing it properly. And there we go. Now it's doing it properly. So right, both, left. Right, both, left. And you get an incredibly powerful overhead strike, which secretly adds an extra 10% damage and attack speed while you're doing it. I don't know why this isn't written anywhere, but it's all over the forums if you want to go and have a look for yourself. And the second way to do it is one of the most fun things and one of the most important things you have to learn while using this pick. It is the alternative fire button. Now, mine is set to mouse button 4. You can go into the controls and set it up to a button that you prefer. Now what this does is, it staggers and then sends you into 2 overhead strikes. So, stagger, heavy attack, light attack. Stagger, heavy attack, light attack. And as you can see, even with a lot of the damage nodes missing, we're still doing an incredible amount of damage to armor. Heavy attack, light attack. This is why I love this pick. And the main reason why I'd pick it over the Brax, because the Brax does not have hook attack ability. It just has a jab, which I'm not fond of. But use whichever one you like. Okay, let's jump back into the tree. So, that is Smash 'em and how you deal with single target. Heavyweight, one of the best talents in the tree, 30% damage against Borks, Crushers and Plague Ogrins, and Reapers also receive 30% damage reduction against the same. And then into Linchpin, 50% increased coherency size. Toughness, Frag Bomb, soften them up. Everything we touch is going to take 15% more damage for 5 seconds. And then we're going to come down here into the middle, grabbing the toughness damage reduction here. And we're going to grab Loyal Protector. Taunt enemies within 8 meters, making them attack only you for 15 seconds. Base cooldown 45. Now we're going to be grabbing Valuable Distraction. Enemies affected by your Loyal Protector take 25% base damage from all sources. And this isn't on a timer. So when you use this, everything goes red. Everything that has gone red now takes 25% more damage. Oh, God damn the Psychic Arum. It takes 25% more damage from you and all other sources. So it doesn't proc soft them up though, because this specifically says damaged by you. Loyal Protector does no damage, so it doesn't proc this as well. It would be great if it did, because then we'd be doing 40% extra damage, but, you know, as is life. And then we're coming down here, we're going to grab the Rending Boost into Batter to grab Inflict 4 stacks of bleed on heavy melee hit, and then into increased heavy melee damage. Back to the middle, we're going to be taking health into Hard Knocks. 1% damage to your next melee hit attack on enemy stagger. I mentioned this in the last video, but our kickback does count as staggering everything, as you can see there. And so does our pick pull. It increases the stagger stacks, and everything that's slightly bigger you do more damage to, because you get more stacks of stagger. Right, we'll jump back into the tree. Then we're taking Stay Close, 20% toughness replenishment for you and allies in coherency. It's just a nice defensible buff for the entire team. Coming over here, melee damage boost. Delight in Destruction, 10% damage resistance per bleeding enemy at melee range, stacked 6 times. Dominate, plus 10% rending for 10 seconds on elite kill, and then back to the middle. Get stuck in on activating your combat ability. You and your allies in coherency gain 20% movement speed and also immune to stun and suppression. This is very useful. It helps you get out of sticky situations. Obviously, your ability no longer charges you forward. It makes everything focus on you. So this will really help your team. Bruiser, 5% combat ability cooldown reduction when you and your allies in coherency kill an elite. Just lets you use Loyal Protector more. Won't Give In, a 20% damage reduction for each knocked down, incapacitated ally within 20 meters. This is a clutch ability. Everyone goes down, you take less damage, and you try and get everything up as quick as you can. And now a health boost as well, and down into Feel No Pain. So, this build is a very tanky build. We're not taking heavy hitter. Feel No Pain is what's going to make it slightly easier for everyone to learn how to play the Ogryn better, because this is going to make you a lot tougher. You are blessed with 10 stacks of Feel No Pain. Each stack grants 2.5% toughness replenishment and 2.5% damage reduction. Taking damage removes 1 stack, and stacks are restored every 3 seconds. Then we've got Pained Outburst. When Feel No Pain reaches 0 stacks, you push enemies and replenish 20% toughness. This is amazing for dealing with disablers. So it does nothing against the Trapper Net, but dogs and mutants, it pushes them off of you. So you can no longer be completely disabled by a dog. Very good ability, that. And then Toughest. Feel No Pain grants 2.5% toughness replenishment per stack. Now, if you want to, you can take Strongest. Pushing enemies restores 1 stack of Feel No Pain, though I feel like it's a wasted point. But if you really want to, you can take out 10% melee damage here. I would not take out any toughness for this build. So if you really want to, you reduce your damage here and place it into Strongest, which allows you to push to regain stacks of Feel No Pain. So there you go. So this build is it's a very tanky build. It's very good for doing the Ogryn penances that require you to use Loyal Protector, Stay Close, and Feel No Pain. This build will cover you for all three of those penances, and it's also a very good build to learn how to play the Ogryn to the best of your ability. It gives you a lot of... it smooths things out for you. It's not as unforgiving as pure melee or pure ranged. This allows you to make a few mistakes and learn from them. So I'm just going to scroll down the build. So if you want to pause to have a look, here's your chance. And there you have it. That's the tanky Feel No Pain Ogryn build. And I really hope you guys like it. And if you do, please like, subscribe, ring that little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And yeah, until the next time, take it easy, and I'll see you later.